The departments, mostly the non-school departments, have been affected by the cut in local aid because that's the unrestricted funds that we use for general city operations. To speak specifically about how departments were affected and how we addressed it, I'll just take it one at a time. Our public safety departments were decreased by approximately 1/3. So, for example, our police department used to have 120 people working in the police department, and now it has about 82. So that's pretty significant. We've also seen about 24 less firefighters. And again, most of this was done through attrition. Our average age for city employees is in the 50s, so we were able to utilize retirements instead of layoffs. So that actually saved significantly on unemployment. Now, how that's actually impacted the services delivered to the citizens, there's actually not a lot of impact. We use the opportunity, even with less staff and less money, to figure out new ways to deliver those services. So, for example, in the police department, what we did is we used technology. So we equipped all the police cars with computers, and also with the ability to access remote cameras. And we then said, if you're a police officer and you're in a patrol car and you used to spend maybe 3 hours out of an 8-hour shift in going either to and from the police station or in the police station to do work, now you don't have to. Now you can actually do this from your car. So in fact, out of an 8-hour shift, we used to have a patrol officer work really 5 hours, and now they're working 8. So with even the downsizing of the number of patrol cars or the number of police officers, we actually have just the same amount of time of coverage on the streets, which is really great. And that has also helped to preserve the specialty jobs like the school resource officers, the drug units, the community response units, the traffic units, and so on. So actually, we've seen, again, despite the economic downturn, despite the significant downsizing in the police department, we've seen crime go down. And that's just because we're working smarter. Same thing with the fire department. The fire department, we haven't had to close a single fire station. We haven't had to take a single engine out of service. And that's primarily not due to, we did some restructuring there. We did pare down the administrators. But one of the things the firefighters did is they actually gave up concessions. They gave up union concessions. And that was pretty significant. So firefighters have been giving back stipends worth about 2.5% of their salaries. They've also been working comp time without, and then not using their comp time. That's allowed us to actually to fill the slots in the fire engines and not be able to reduce services. So the public and the unions and everybody's really gotten on board to say, we need to do things differently. We can't just say we don't have enough money, so we're not going to deliver the same services. So I've been significantly happy with the way that everybody's really pulled together.
Well, I think it's been pretty much across the board with our reductions. There isn't one department that has not experienced a reduction. We were able to avoid layoffs in the police department in terms of our police officers. We did lay off civilian staff in the police department. We laid off civilian staff in the fire department, but public safety is very important to us. And so we've been able to, we did not make any layoffs, but we're down about 30 officers from where we were 4 or 5 years ago in the police department, which is an issue with us. The city of Lowell does have, like many other cities, every community really has some crime problem of some sort. To be down that number of police officers is substantial. That's about a 10%, well, a little bit less than that, 10% cut. Fire department also is down. That requires us to close engine companies on a regular basis. As I think I said earlier, the biggest problem we have is is our investment in our infrastructure. I think there's savings we can realize there with less staff, but it requires us to make modifications in the way we do things, and that takes time and takes negotiations with our collective bargaining groups. In terms of our school department, we've also seen reductions there. We've been fortunate that our enrollment has been dropping off. So that's allowed us to sort of absorb some of that, but clearly we're not able to do the job that we have been in the past either. But those are the really it's been across the board that we've made reductions. Sometimes I think that that's positive to us as municipalities, that we're using this, as government organizations, we're using this situation as an opportunity to make changes that are long overdue. But there's no doubt about it that services have been affected as well.